emergency room nurse. Since COVID-19 coronavirus has been here, it has greatly affected procedures before I go to work, while I'm at work, and what I do when I come home. So this is how I go to work. It's mandated that all the employees have some kind of eye covering, and your glasses don't count, and some kind of a paper mask. You can't wear a cloth mask. If visitors or somebody who's not staff come to the hospital, we give them surgical paper masks. How I present to walk into the building, I punch in and I report to my department. Once I get there, because I'm an emergency room nurse and we are frontline, everybody has COVID-19 as far as we're concerned, because you really don't know until you swab somebody. So what I do is I take these off.
Away from the face.
I put a N95 on. I put a paper mask on over that. I put my goggles back on. And this is how I work for 12.5 hours. So most people are very upset about wearing just a regular cloth or paper mask when they go out or interacting. In my department, I wear this all day for my entire shift. If I'm going to be interacting with a positive COVID patient, I also put on a head wrap. And different people have made us some beautiful head wraps. I'll put this on. And then we also have a helmet with a face shield. And we put a plastic apron on, and we have double gloves. And that's how I treat a patient who has positive coronavirus. So that's what happens while I'm at work. Once I'm done with my shift, all of this has to come off because as far as I'm concerned, it's contaminated. So I bring an extra set of clothes to work. I take all of this off. I take a shower at work, put on new clothes before I come home for the evening. That's how my life has been affected at work.
Hi, so COVID has affected me at work by taking extra precautions, and COVID has affected me at home by my children staying home all the time and not having any community outings, which is saddening.
COVID has affected me at work by having to wear all this extra stuff, and it has decreased our socialization at lunchtime. It has affected me at home by I just stay home. I hardly go anywhere unless it's really needed.
COVID has affected me at work because now we have to don massive amounts of PPE, which I feel like is hard work even on top of what we have to do. And then COVID has affected me at home because I am no longer able to take my very small children out into the community and fulfill their boredom. So that is how COVID has affected my life.
And
COVID has affected me at work just by having to take a lot of extra precautions every day and worry about taking certain things home to my family that we normally wouldn't worry about. And outside of work, COVID has affected me because I'm from the mainland, from Virginia, and I have not been able to go back to visit my family because traveling restrictions here in Hawaii.
there's been a decrease in social, there's been a decrease in being able to go anywhere and travel. Really wanted to go on my annual trip to Oregon to meet my best friend, and I couldn't do that because the airports and traveling, and Hawaii had the whole quarantine for 2 weeks. Now you can get a swab 72 hours before a trip, but then there's still rules about going back to work if you've traveled outside of the state. One of the most important things, the way that COVID-19 has affected me, since I'm a frontline healthcare provider, is I'm always afraid that if I don't do things just right, that I'll actually bring the virus home to my family. And to me, that's the most impact it's had on me, is bringing something home from the hospital that could make my family sick.